Hey everyone, Nikola held a conference call with Wall Street investors on August 4th, and in this video, I'm going to take away some of the big picture items that came out of that question and answer session with Wall Street investors and Nikola management. Starting with, of course, the first question that came from a Wall Street analyst was about the CEO change, and the question was, usually when a chairperson comes in to take the CEO role, sometimes it's a temporary thing. Are you looking to stay at Nikola for the long term? And so the new CEO chimes in to say, so I'm in it to win it here. I'm closing in on a place tomorrow, meaning I'm buying a place here tomorrow. I'm settling in. I'm ready to stick around for the long term. And I think that's good news for Nikola stock investors. You don't want to see too much turnover, especially in the senior role, the CEO role of a company. You want to see a CEO that's there for the long term. And of course, we all know what happened with Nikola's founder and first CEO. And so this company, more than most, needs some stability in the top job. So going on, the next question is coming from the same analyst asking about what's coming in the second half of the year in regards to the production line. So what are you going to produce in the second half of the year? Because remember, Nikola now has the option to produce battery electric trucks or hydrogen fuel trucks. It's got both. So let's look at the answer here. So the previous CEO, Michael Loscheller, still answering questions here, saying, and I'm sorry if I said the name wrong, saying we have the flexibility to produce both trucks on one assembly line, which is very interesting in terms of efficiency, but you're correct. For this year, we plan to produce only the fuel cell truck. And then obviously we're switching to the build to order concept, and so we'll produce whichever electric truck, the best one going forward. So whichever one they have more orders for in the next year, they'll go to, right? And so what the CEO left out here is that they don't plan to produce any more battery electric trucks for the rest of this year because they've got enough inventory between their dealerships and themselves. They've got enough inventory to meet customer demand right now. So they're not going to produce any more of those. They're just going to sell whatever they have in inventory. And then starting 2024, as they get more orders, they're going to produce those battery electric trucks. And if they don't get orders, they won't produce those. They'll just produce the hydrogen fuel trucks. So, but now for the next couple of months until the end of the year, it's all about the fuel cell truck. And as we said, we think we'll produce more than 100 trucks. So they're switching over to that hydrogen fuel truck. And that's good news for investors because they've got that first mover advantage there. They have limited competition with the hydrogen fuel cell truck. The hydrogen fuel cell truck, I think, will look more in the next question, but it sells for a higher price than the battery electric truck as well. So you've got that higher average selling price that could generate higher revenues, which could generate better profit margins. So that's looking good, but still too early. Still, it remains to be seen the progress and how it actually turns out. And so the new CEO now chiming in as well. It's kind of confusing as I don't understand why both the previous CEO and the new CEO are both answering questions. It's a little bit confusing, but I guess for this current quarter, they'll handle it this way. And then moving forward, I suspect it'll just be Steven Gursky taking the questions, and we won't see any more of Michael on the conference calls. So first of all, on the ASP, which is average selling price, in terms of the ASP, it's very similar. But obviously we've done some inventory liquidation, selling the existing inventory, and that also has an impact on average selling price because when you're liquidating, you're selling at lower prices because you're trying to sell those things as quickly as possible, and so you're willing to accept the lower price because you want to make the sale. So you tend to sell those at lower prices when you're in liquidation mode. But in general, think about the ASP for the fuel cell truck. It's higher because the price is higher. And obviously, they have competition for the battery electric truck, but on the fuel cell truck, they have the clear first mover advantage and they're uniquely positioned. And so that's going to allow them to sell for higher prices as well, because when a customer comes looking for those trucks, Nikola will feel comfortable in a strong negotiating position because they know the customer doesn't have a competitor to go to. So if they're looking for specifically a fuel cell truck, which many customers are looking for because the incentives are massive, the incentives are $40,000 in some cases to purchase those fuel cell trucks. So there is some organic demand building up here. Well, I shouldn't say organic demand, I should say government incentivized demand that's trickling up here for Nikola. So that's something that investors should look forward to as well. But that's all I've got for this video on Nikola management, taking questions from Wall Street investors and providing deeper insight into what's going on with the company. So thank you so much for watching. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.